before I talk about it, we have what passed here in America called the Clarity Act, or hasn't passed yet. I think it's waiting on the signature from the president and the Senate. But it basically draws a line in the sand on what makes a token a security and what makes a token a commodity, right? So once all this stuff is like drawn in the sand and everything's clean and clear, certain tokens are going to be traded on centralized exchanges and certain tokens are going to have to stay on decentralized exchanges. Okay, so I think Coinbase was thinking ahead, and Coinbase is always in talks with the regulator, and they do the best that they can to be compliant. They call them the white knight of crypto for a reason. So Aerodrome is a decentralized exchange. We actually got into some pools on Aerodrome on the past couple episodes where we've had our Zora pools at Aerodrome and Uniswap. So Coinbase recently integrated with Aerodrome's base pools into their app, right? DeFi mullet again. So this means users can see trading and liquidity from Aerodrome inside of Coinbase's interface. So let's talk about how this works. So when a token is listed or has a liquidity pool on Aerodrome on Base, Coinbase pulls that liquidity or trade pair into its app for users. So it's basically, if something's traded on Aerodrome, it looks like it's trading on Coinbase, but you're still able to tell the difference. So this means quicker discovery, more trading options for Base native tokens, and less frictions. So users don't need to leave Coinbase or manually connect to Aerodrome. They do it straight from the app. It's more secure, right? Coinbase is taking on that risk, and Coinbase also has an insurance policy, so it's safer. And the integration also helps newly launched Base tokens get exposure via Coinbase's large user base immediately when the pools are live. So I feel like this is going to make it easier for altcoins to pump as well. Some people just buy assets just because they're on Coinbase, right? And I know a lot of people, I'll be like, oh man, did you buy this token? And they're like, no. I'm like, you should. NFA, this is just an example, guys. Basejunkie told me about a token and he put NFA in there. I'm like, man, you gotta love crypto. Anyway, is people, I'll be like, oh man, you should like look into this token. And they're like, can I get it on Coinbase? And I'm like, no. And they won't even buy it, right? The confused mind says no. So it's like, this matters because it bridges the gap between the centralized exchange UX and the DeFi liquidity. Like it's pulling it together. So users get DeFi depth without needing a separate wallet or DEX interface, more volume on Aerodrome, more liquidity and token listing visibility. And it's mutually reinforcing. So DeFi projects get exposure. Coinbase, they get to basically expand their moat. And now for you and I, Basejunkie, and liquidity providers watching this channel, this is good for us because it's just like some of the pools that I'm in, most of which are on Base, only people in DeFi are going to be trading it. But now that people can see that pool on Coinbase, they're trading in the liquidity pool where I'm providing liquidity. So that means I'm able to make fees, not off of just people who are in DeFi, but from people who are buying at Coinbase. That's pretty huge.
Absolutely.